Hello, what is up everybody? In today's video I have my 2020-21 NBA prediction of the Rookie of the Year, MVP, Most Improved, the playoffs, the standings, who's going to win every award. So if you like this sort of stuff, I post all this stuff on my second channel, link in the description and the top comment to that. We'll upload reactions to NBA videos, other top NBA videos, other reactions, stuff like that. So make sure to subscribe to that channel. Try to hit 1,000 subscribers on that one. We're almost at 300 on that. But let's get straight into today's video. So the first award I want to look at is the Rookie of the Year award. Now with the Rookie of the Year award, I do believe it's a 3-horse race with Wiseman, Edwards, and LaMelo Ball. I didn't put Wiseman in here because I'm going to put the top 2 candidates in my opinion, who I believe is going to win every award. So Rookie of the Year between Edwards, LaMelo, and Wiseman. Now Wiseman, from last night's game, like he played pretty good, but it was mostly garbage time minutes, and I can't really go off garbage time minutes. But I've seen LaMelo Ball, his passing is some of the best passing I've seen out of any NBA player ever. And then you got Anthony Edwards. He said he doesn't like basketball. I think he just did that so he didn't want to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think he wanted to go to the Golden State Warriors. But who knows, you know? But in the Rookie of the Year race, I do believe it's a popularity contest. I'm going to talk about the MVP and stuff like that, why certain people win the MVP and why not. But the Rookie of the Year is a popularity contest. That's why Ben Simmons won it back over Donovan Mitchell. Last year, Zion was going to win it if he played more than like 19 games over Ja. Even though Ja had such a better rookie season, they still believe that Zion should have won it because he was more popular, okay? So in the popularity contest, LaMelo wins. In the skill contest, they're a bit even. Now, Edwards could shoot just a little bit better than LaMelo, but LaMelo's passing, everything is better. So I'm going to go with LaMelo Ball as my Rookie of the Year. Who is your Rookie of the Year? I want to hear your opinions in the comment section down below as well. My Rookie of the Year is LaMelo Ball. Now for the 6th Man of the Year, we're going between Hero and Jordan Clarkson. Now, you could say Lou Williams, but I believe that Lou Williams' ceiling is now not up there anymore, and he doesn't fit the agenda that the NBA is going for. They're looking for young, up-and-coming players for these type of awards. So right now, Tyler Hero is an up-and-coming player, a most loved player from the NBA. Played in the finals last year, did really good. Came short, but the NBA and every player usually likes him. They're overrating him, like putting him top 50 players and stuff like that, overrating him to the heck. So I do believe that Tyler Hero will win 6th Man of the Year if, okay, this is a big if he actually plays 6th man, because Goran Dragic will be the point guard, right? And Jimmy Butler may play small forward, but then they might have to have Tyler Hero at shooting guard. But I do believe he's going to come off the bench, and if he does come off the bench, he will be the 6th Man of the Year. Now, if he doesn't, I'm going to have Clarkson winning it, because I believe Clarkson's really good. I know not someone the Lakers can win it, but they don't like the Lakers that much giving awards. If you've seen from last year, they rigged the Defensive Player of the Year, which Anthony Davis should have won it. MVP, LeBron was the best player. He's the best player every single year, but they're never going to give it to LeBron. We already know that. But I'm going to go with Tyler Hero as the 6th Man of the Year. Now for the Most Improved Player, I put Kuzma in there because I actually believe he can actually be Most Improved. But what I'm thinking about is how bad he is. He doesn't play consistent basketball. I want him to win it so bad. Like, I want him to win it, like, incredibly bad. I want this man to win it. But I just don't believe he can win it. But if he does, I want him to win. I'm rooting for him to win. He's my favorite to win 6th Most Improved. But I still do believe that Michael Porter Jr. is going to win Most Improved Player, because you've seen him last year. He's really good. He's got a high ceiling, and the NBA loves him. And the Denver Nuggets will be, you'll see in a second, a high seed in the playoffs. But I do believe he'll win it over Kyle Kuzma. So I want Kuzma to win it, but I do believe MPJ will win Most Improved Player. Now for Defensive Player of the Year. Now this one is a tough one because the NBA gawks over Giannis. They want to do stuff to Giannis that no man should do to another man. You know what I mean? They love him. He didn't deserve Defensive Player of the Year last year. I don't care what anyone says. It was AD's year last year. And last year, LeBron should have won MVP, but they gave it to Giannis because he won more games, and he is fitting the NBA's agenda. NBA has an agenda who they want to win these awards. What player fits the agenda? But for Defensive Player of the Year, I do believe that Anthony Davis fits the agenda because he's finally in his. This is actually his first prime year. Last year was like sort of in his prime. Now he's 27. He's hitting his prime, and once he hits his prime, you already see how good he is without his prime. On the defensive end, he could be a defensive monster, and he's going to be my defensive player of the year. Giannis coming runner-up, close second. Now for the MVP. Now, reason I don't have Giannis is because voter fatigue, okay? I know they gawk 9,000 over Giannis, okay? But I haven't seen... When was the last time someone won 3 MVPs in a row? I just Googled it. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird are the only 3 players to ever win MVP 3 times in a row. Do I believe Giannis will win it in a row? I know the NBA loves him, but I don't believe he'll win it 3 times in a row, so I'm taking him out of the race. It's basically... I would put LeBron in there because he does deserve MVP every single year, but he does not fit the NBA's agenda, okay? What I'm talking about agenda is they like to see up-and-coming players, like, see that players love Giannis, like their fans love Giannis. They love him. But with LeBron, it's like back in the day when Kobe wasn't winning MVPs, he didn't fit the agenda that the NBA was going for and the road they want to go with. They wanted to give it to, like LeBron deserved it, they wanted to give it to LeBron, Dirk, players like Steve Nash, players like that. But Luka, I do believe he's 1 year off. I believe that Luka is next year's going to be MVP. I believe that AD is going to be my MVP for this season. The only reason is because I do believe he's going to average like 30 points, 10 rebounds, about 3 assists, about 2 to 3 blocks a game, and at least a steal to 2 steals a game. And he's going to shoot a really high percentage from 3, high percentage from the free throw line, and field goal. And that's why I'm going to have him as an MVP. Now, why I'm saying Luka's a year away is because I believe he's a year away. He doesn't fit the agenda as of yet. He's going to be the next star, the next face of the NBA, Luka is, but I believe that will start next year because he'll only be like, I'll show you in a second what seed he will. Since he won't win a whole plethora of games, he won't be the MVP, but AD, because the Lakers will be number 1 seed, probably with the best record in the NBA, AD will win the MVP over LeBron because LeBron's never going to win it again. But Luka, next year, for sure he will win it, but he doesn't fit the agenda as of yet. Now for the NBA playoffs. We have the NBA playoffs for you boys. Right here is the playoff bracket that I have built. These are my conference brackets. Now I'm going to start off with the East. We have the Bucks versus the Wizards in the first round. Now the Bucks will win this game. They'll probably win in 5. Probably sweep them, but they'll probably win in 5 because Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal together could be a dynamic duo, and I do believe that they, can do some work. So I'm going to put the Bucks going into the next round over the Wizards. So the Bucks will win 4-1 or 4-0 against the Wizards. Now for the 4th and 5th seed, we have the Celtics versus the good old Philadelphia 76ers. Now the reason I have the Boston Celtics and Sixers versing, now I believe, now the Sixers could go up higher, but even if they do get James Harden over Ben Simmons, I don't see them get over the 5th seed in the East because James Harden's not going to make that big of a difference since he's such a nuisance, such a ball hog. I don't like James Harden. I'm sorry to say. He's my most hated player of all time. I think he's an absolute fag. But neither here nor there. But anyway, Celtics versus Philadelphia 76ers. I believe the Celtics will beat the Sixers in 6 games. Now, the reason I believe that is because the Celtics, they are really good. They've got Jason Tatum. They got Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. And the Sixers, they got Danny Green. Okay, that's enough said. They've got Danny freaking Green, the brick machine. He did pretty good. I loved him in the Lakers just to the playoffs. He's pretty good regular season player, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's like Pandemic P. He's perfect in the regular season. Comes to playoffs, is just a shit show, you know what I mean? Now for the 2nd versus 7th seed. Now I have the Brooklyn Nets as the 2nd seed because I know the Bucks are going to try hard there. They're going to try their nuts off to win, to come first in the conference because Giannis wants to try to win 3 MVPs in a row, which is not going to happen. But the Brooklyn Nets versus the Indiana Pacers. Now the Brooklyn Nets are going to get the 2nd seed because of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You've seen last night what they did to the Golden State Warriors. Now the Warriors didn't have Draymond. It was the first game as a unit, and Wiggins is just horrible. But with the Brooklyn Nets, they've got Kevin Durant, they've got Kyrie Irving, they've got Karis LeVert. He could be a 6th man of the year candidate. I actually put him in the 6th man of the year candidate actually over Clarkson. So we'll replace We'll replace Clarkson with Caris LeVert, because Caris LeVert probably averaged 15 to 20 points per game off the bench, being a sixth man. So with him off the bench, with Spencer Dinwiddie, with Jarrett Allen, the Brooklyn Nets have, hard to say who has the better bench with them and the Lakers, but I still have the Lakers have the edge. But the Brooklyn Nets have the second best bench, in my opinion, the second best roster in the NBA. And so I'm going to have them second. And the Indiana Pacers, obviously, not going to do that much noise in the playoffs. Again, they are just going to get, they're going to get annihilated. They're going to get pummeled. I'm sorry to say it, if Indiana Pacers fan, they're going to get pummeled. They're probably going to lose 4-1 or they get swept. Because when the Brooklyn Nets play in the playoffs, they're just going to probably give them one game. But the Pacers just don't have enough. Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis just isn't enough to win a game against, or win a series against the Brooklyn Nets. Now we have the Heat versus the Toronto Raptors. Now I believe the Raptors will still be the 6th seed. But with the Heat being from the finals last year, they had a really good run. And they have a really good roster with Tyler Hero. They've got, so as I said, most improved player. They've got Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. They've got Duncan Robinson. They've got Goran Dragic. They've got a good roster, man. They've got a really solid roster. And so I'm going to put them the 3rd best in the East. And the Raptors, they just don't have it anymore. I don't believe that their run is over till they get another player. I do believe they're going to get the 6th seed because they do try hard in the regular season. But saying that, the Heat will win in 6 or 7. I'll say 6 or 7. I'm going to give them 6 games. I'll say the Heat will win in 6 games against the Raptors because the Heat are a better team. And I just believe that that's just what's going to happen. Now, with these brackets, okay, then I'm going to, after I play these ones, I'll do the Western Conference Finals. Western Conference. Now, we're going to start off with the Bucks versus the Celtics. Now, the Bucks versus the Celtics will go 7 games. It will go 7 games this time because the Bucks do have Drew Holiday. They do have Giannis wanting to try hard and finally make it to the NBA Finals. In my opinion, I believe the Bucks will beat the Celtics in 7 games. Now, hear me out. The Celtics are really good. Don't get me wrong, okay? They're really good. As I said, they've got Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum. The center's just not enough. Daniel Tice as a center just isn't going to cut it. You know what I mean? Their point guard, Kemba Walker. They've got Kemba Walker as well. But Kemba, he's like Pandemic P in the playoffs again. Like, he's just so streaky. Like, whenever you watch him, he can shoot 1 from 10. Or he can shoot, like, 6 from 10. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it depends on how he feels on the day. And I believe Kemba could be their downfall. And plus Daniel Tice could be their downfall. Because the Bucks have Giannis. And then they have Drew Holiday at the point guard position who can play against. They can put him on Jason Tatum. They can put Giannis on Tatum. And I do believe the Bucks will win in 7 games over the Boston Celtics. Now, for the Nets Heat series, I believe that the Nets will win in 6 or 7 games. I'm going to give the Heat 7 games because I do like that team and they put up a good fight against the Lakers. But at the end of the day, like, you're versing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving when the Heat, they still need to develop Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Bam Adebayo. They still need a lot of developing, and they're just not ready as of yet to win an NBA championship. Last year was their best chance, but saying that, this year just ain't their year. They're gonna make it to the semis, to the semifinals, but the Nets will win in 6 and 7 because Kevin Durant in the playoffs is an absolute demon. Go over against him. You've seen him on the Warriors. You even seen him on the OKC. Like, he choked. He was up 3-1 and he choked. But on the Warriors, he had a lot of help. But Kevin Durant looking really, really good. He's looking like the 2nd best player in the league behind LeBron James, of course. He's never going to be the best player when LeBron's playing. But with Kevin Durant, he's just going to beat the Heat. He's going to beat down the Heat. Kyrie's going to beat him down. Karis, all that sort of stuff's going to beat him down. We'll come back to the Eastern Conference in a second. Obviously, I have him on the wrong side. I don't know why I put him on the wrong side, but it doesn't really matter. Now for the Western Conference, I know I have them on different sides, but we're going to start off with the Lakers versus Suns. Now, the reason I have the Suns as the 8th seed over the Pelicans, hear me out, because Zion and stuff still need to develop, right? And Lonzo's contract up in the air could be a problem. they just don't have the chemistry as of yet. They've got the talent. They've got Brandon Ingram. They've got Zion Williamson. But losing Drew Holiday is a huge... Like, I know they got Eric Bledsoe, okay? But Eric Bledsoe's just not going to be enough. But with the Phoenix Suns, they got Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Plus DeAndre Ayton. That's a good roster. That's a pretty good starting... That's pretty good... We'll say a sizable 3, you know what I mean? Not huge, not a big 3. We'll call them a medium 3 because DeAndre Ayton just ain't there yet. But saying that, the Lakers versus the Suns, we already know what's going to happen. The Lakers are going to win in about 5. We'll give 5. The Lakers will win in 5 games against the Suns. Maybe 6. To be fair, we'll give them 5 or 6 games, but it's going to be a 5-game series. The Lakers will beat them in 5. This should have been in the last year's series, Suns versus Lakers. But the Lakers will win in 5 because you've got LeBron, AD, Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, Kuzma. The list goes on. THT's a superstar. He's going to be a superstar in the making. I said that last year, and I'm going to keep saying it for the rest of the year. But Lakers will win in 5 games against the Phoenix Suns. Now for the Mavericks versus the Jazz. I have the Mavericks over the Jazz. The Jazz will try hard in the regular seasons, but they're just... Signing that contract for Rudy Gobert was the dumbest move I've ever seen. He's overpaid. Now, I believe the Mavericks will beat the Jazz in 6 games. Now, the reason I'm going to put the Mavericks over the Jazz in 6 games is because Luka. What else can I say? Luka's going to be a top 3, top 2 MVP candidate. He could win it if he fits the NBA's agenda this year. But as I said, I believe he's going to fit it next year. But saying that, Luka will beat the Jazz. He'll beat Dan Donovan Mitchell. Rudy Gobert can't really compete. He's good on the defensive end, but his offense is lacking, and that's what they're missing, and they will get bounced out of the first round again because the Mavericks just are a better team. Now for the Clippers versus the Trailblazers. Now, the reason I have the Trailblazers at the 7th seed is because they got Melo, they got Damian Lillard, you know, they got CJ, but end of the day, they're probably not going to win that many games. They're not going to win that many games, man, because it's just, the team is good, but it ain't that good. You know what I mean? And then the Clippers, you already know they've got Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. You've seen how much the opening night champions, man, they can't make it past the semifinals, but the opening night champs, you know what I mean? They try harder in the regular season. When it comes to the playoffs, 3-1 lead, choke, you know what I mean? They suck. Trash. But anyway, Clippers versus the Trailblazers. The Clippers will win in 5 or 6. I'll probably give them 5 games. The Clippers will win in 5. But I'll give 6 games because I do believe that Lillard can probably push at 6, just like Luka pushed to 6 against the Clippers. The Mavericks probably would have bet the Clippers last year if, you know, they had Porzingis. But neither here nor there. But the Clippers will beat the Trailblazers in 5 or 6. Now for the Warriors versus Nugget. Now the reason I have Warriors at the 6th seed, because I believe that the Warriors will be a pretty good regular season team once they get Draymond back and get some chemistry. Curry will average 30 plus points per game. He'll average like 30 points, 10 assists, about 5 rebounds. But it just won't be enough to get over the 6th seed in the West. It could be 7th seed. I'm picking between the Blazers and the Warriors for the 6th and 7th seed. They're like fighting for it, just like the Suns and the Pelicans are fighting for the 8th seed. But I believe that the Warriors will nudge over the Blazers because Curry, you know, he's the best point guard in the league. Then you got Draymond Green. You got, hopefully Wiggins could play better. Oubre's good. Maybe they can get Klay Thompson back for the playoffs, but I don't believe that's going to happen. But in the Nuggets Warriors playoff series, the Nuggets, they will win in about 6 or 7 games. I'm gonna give the Warriors 6 games. The Nuggets will win in 6 against the Warriors. Now for the semis, we've got the Lakers versus the Mavericks. Now, I like Luka, I like the Mavericks, but I just don't see them beating the Lakers. I got the Lakers winning in 5 or 6 games. I'll give them 6 games to the Mavericks because they do have Luka Doncic, who is a superstar in the making, as I said, an MVP candidate. Next year's MVP, not this year's. But we're going to give the Lakers the edge over the Mavericks. The Mavericks just ain't there yet. And the Lakers team is the deepest team I've seen in a long, long time. I can't remember a team I've seen that deep. Like I said at the start of the year, like people say the Warriors team was very deep. They just don't know what they're going on about. The Lakers have a very deep team. They've got 2 best 6 man of the year candidates for last year. They've got Kuz, THT, Alex Caruso. You know, it's just Sharpshooter and Harold together as well, dynamic duo. The Lakers just will have too much, and I believe they'll win in 5 or 6 games. Now for the rematch of last year. Will the Clippers blow another 3-1 lead? We will never know, but I do believe that the Clippers will win in 7 games against the Nuggets. Now the Nuggets, they're just not there yet, man. You know what I mean? They're like the Mavericks. They're just not there as of yet, if you know what I mean. As of yet, they're just not there. So saying that, I do believe the Clippers will win in 7. They won't blow a 3-1 lead this time. They'll probably go up 3-2, blow it 3, go to 3-3, then they'll just beat the Nuggets. Unless it could happen other way. The Clippers could lose again, just in case Pandemic P comes out in force. He comes out in force, hits the side of the backboard, throws it out of bounds towards the ref, you know what I mean? But unless Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Jokic just become absolutely demons, I just don't see it happen over Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi and Paul George will try hard this year. But saying that, they'll win 7 games. Now we're going to go back to the Eastern Conference. Now with the Eastern Conference, we've got the Bucks versus the Nets. Now the Bucks versus the Nets, it can go either way, okay? Because Giannis, he could try hard, but then you got the Nets who are very deep. You got Kevin Durant, you got Kyrie Irving, Karras, stuff like that. It will go 7 games. It may even go 6. I do have the Brooklyn Nets beating the Bucks in 6 or 7 games. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? You have different opinions than me, but I believe the Nets will win in 6 or 7 games against the Bucks. I just don't believe the Bucks have enough to beat that Nets team. Now for the Western Conference, we have Clippers versus Lakers, the match I wanted to see last year. Now I'm dreading this because the Clippers against the Lakers, they have something against us, and I'm happy we didn't have the verse on last year. We would have beat them last year, but this year, the Clippers team, they're just not as good as last year's team, you know what I mean? They're just not as good. They weren't opening up because LeBron, AD, and that. AD had a horrible game, okay? LeBron had a horrible game. Marcus Gasol had 0 points from like 20 plus minutes. Kuzma had a bad game. Everyone had a bad game, okay? And they had so many turnovers, stuff like that. Now, they went down by 20 coming back. The Clippers, they just don't have enough. They just don't have enough to stop LeBron and AD, THT, Harold, Schroeder, Caruso. Especially if THT becomes that absolute superstar, he could fuck around and win most improved player, but I don't see it happening, but that'll probably happen next year. But THT could be the X factor in this series. Will it go 7? No. It will go 6 games, at most 7 games, but the Lakers will win in 6 games against the Clippers, just because LeBron in the playoffs is a different breed of animal. Even though Kawhi Leonard's pretty good in the playoffs, you know what I mean? Everyone's saying he was a better player than LeBron. But we're going to give the edge to the Lakers to win in 6 games. I'll give you 7 games, you Clippers fans, but the Lakers will win in 6 games. Now we've got the Nets versus the Lakers in the NBA Finals, the matchup that everyone wants to see in the NBA Finals. We've got the matchup, both matchups in each conference that everyone wants to see. Bucks versus Nets, Lakers versus Clippers. Everyone wants to see that matchup. Now, Lakers versus Nets, the ratings will be skyrocketing through the roof because LeBron's son, Kevin Durant, versus his dad, LeBron. LeBron could come out, drop a 30-point triple-double, 40-point triple-double every night. You got AD. Now, I'm going to believe that AD will clamp up Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant will still get his 30, probably 25, but AD on him, he's not the same player. He's probably 80, 90% what he was. If he was 100%, could be a different story. But then you got Kyrie Irving. LeBron owns him. You know what I mean? LeBron's his dad as well. Kyrie, I don't know. In the finals, I just don't believe this young Nets team, other than like they got Karras and stuff like that. That young Nets team just won't. They'll be like the Heat last year, okay? They'll be like a deer in headlights. They'll play good for a couple, like 1 or 2 games, maybe 3 games. But Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving just can't carry that load. And when the Lakers have such good, like older veteran players who've won chips, they've won it last year. They know what the feeling is. I just believe the Lakers will win in 7 games, maybe 6, but I'm going to give them a 7-game series. and the Lakers will actually win the NBA championship once again. Now, if you know anything about basketball, this bracket is probably the best bracket you'll see, okay? Because you got the two best teams going up against in each conference going up against each other. You got the two best teams in the NBA going up against each other in the NBA finals, and an actual best team with the best player, the two top 5 players in the league. I don't care what anyone says. AD is the best big man in the league. He's better than Giannis. He's better than Giannis. Don't even get me started why he's better than Giannis. He could shoot. He can do everything Giannis can, but better. And he can shoot better. He can shoot free throws better. He's just, I don't really know what to say. AD and LeBron together, best duo since Kobe and Shaq, will beat the Nets in 6 or 7 games. But that is today's video, guys. If you enjoy this type of video, make sure to subscribe to my second channel. If you want to see more on this main channel, I'll upload the Lakers games on the main channel anyway. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Peace out.